What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today is Saturday, February 15th, and we have another snowstorm on our hands. I have my TerraStar behind me warming up, ready to go. The only other person left here is my father down there. He has the Peterbilt in the middle of the parking lot, ready to go. We're both about to head out and salt our routes. This storm is looking like it's going to be anywhere from 2 to 5 inches, but the weathermen are never correct. So who knows what's going to happen. That is a 3-inch range, so it could be barely anything or it could be 5 inches, which is a pretty decent sized storm for what we get around here. We never really get any big storms anymore. The biggest one I think this year has been like 5 inches, so possibly this one could top that, but we'll have to see how it plays out. Let me get my tarp on my salt and then we'll head out and salt our route. Rope gets wound up in here. That's always a pain. I think it's in there pretty good today. Come on. Oh my God. There we go. Come on. Oh my God. Where is this thing? I see the end of it. Oh, it's all jammed up on there. There we go. What a pain. Whoa. Okay. Okay, let's go salt our route. So let me pull this jack off. We don't need it while we're in the truck. Alright guys, we're pulling into my first neighborhood here. I actually had to run the mains before I got into my neighborhoods. My father called me as soon as I pulled out and he was having an issue with his salt spreader. He couldn't get the chain to move, so he was looking into that. So he had me run the mains first because obviously he's still at our shop, so he's working on that right now. He might even have it fixed by now. I haven't heard from him yet, but I salted all of the mains, and now I'm going through my neighborhoods. I have this neighborhood, one other neighborhood, and then I have 1, 2, like 4 dead ends I have to do. So hopefully we have enough salt to get through everything. Obviously, there's a little bit of snow on the ground now, but nothing too crazy. There's just a coating. So if we can't make it through with how much salt we'll have, we'll run back, load up again, and get back out here. Well, we didn't make it very far before we found our first car parked on the road. Two cars. If you watch all my videos, you know that's my favorite thing during a snowstorm. If you see me reaching down here and flipping a switch, I don't know if you guys can see this controller from that angle, but I have my liquid sprayer controller mounted right here, and on the side of my salt spreader I have a liquid tank that has a pump, and then there's a nozzle that sprays down right on the salt as it falls off of the chain right down to the spreader. It basically soaks your salt with liquid, and I like to use it on the hills just to help melt the hills a little bit more. Obviously your hills are the most dangerous situations when they get slippery, so I'll use liquid on the hills during like the beginning of the storm, and then obviously at the end of the storm I'm spraying liquid. Pretty much the entire route is getting liquid at the end. Another thing that's nice about my liquid system, we have this little spring piece here, and this is a trigger, so if I stop spreading salt like that, my liquid will also stop. If I want to keep the liquid on, because I know I'm going to throw it back on, but if I want to turn the liquid completely off and spread salt, then I have to flip that off. But if I throw my salt spreader lever down and I have my liquid on, right now there's a red light that says no flow, but as soon as this gets triggered, it starts spraying and the light goes away. So that's a very nice thing to have on here. So you don't have to constantly turn your liquid off if you know you're going to be using it for a decent amount of time. Alright, so we got the hourly up. It says 6 p.m. snow, 1/10 of an inch. 7 p.m. cloudy, 8 p.m. cloudy. 9 p.m. snow, 3/10 of an inch. 10 p.m. snow, 2/10 of an inch. 11 p.m. snow, 3/10 of an inch. See what midnight says. Midnight cloudy, 1 a.m. freezing rain, 2 a.m. freezing rain, 3 a.m. rain, 4 a.m. rain, 5 a.m. rain. Alright, so we'll have to see what happens. It's unfortunately going to switch over to freezing rain, which might lead to a very long night, but we'll have to see. Well, it looks like the boss made it out. You got it? I just salted and sprayed this whole section. We had salt in the Peterbilt for like 4 days. We had it loaded. We got so much salt delivered. They actually over-delivered to us the other day. So we loaded the Peterbilt because that takes like 3 full buckets, which is quite a bit of salt. And there's been chance of snow multiple days this week, and we only ended up going out one other day. But we had it loaded back in the shop, and we were thinking that over time, from the few days that the salt was in it, the pressure like sunk down on the chain and made it just too tight to spin once he turned it on. So I guess they put like a pipe wrench on the gear and got it to spin. So he wants to run out some of that salt. And hopefully we don't run into that issue again, but more than likely that's from the salt sitting for a few days on it. All right guys, we're back at our shop. Let's hop in the loader and get my salt spreader filled up, and then we'll cover it up. And we're just gonna hang out for a bit. The storm is taking a little bit of a breather for now. There is more snow at 6 o'clock, which it's 6 o'clock right now, but it's only a little bit for the 6 o'clock hour. And then 7 and 8 o'clock, it says it's just cloudy, and then it's picking back up around 9 o'clock. So not really too much to do right now, but we'll get the truck loaded and covered, and then we'll just hang out for a bit. Carmine.
Yeah.
What's up?
6. Doesn't come out the salt again.
On that truck?
Yeah, I just loaded it again. This is the 3rd time I loaded it. Now I did one street, one on the other.
The same issue.
Chain doesn't spin.
Let me load my truck and then we'll come look at it. That's the same problem as last time. Ay, ay, ay. It never ends. Good enough. We could throw a little bit more on there, but not really necessary right now. It is like raining right now. Not even snowing. Maybe it's freezing rain, but that's more annoying than anything. I'd rather it snow. This thing always rolls over itself when it gets rolled up. It gets like jammed in there. There we go. Okay. So a couple storms ago, Carmine had an issue with that salt spreader. That's what he was just talking to me about. And it worked fine like it did today for the beginning of the storm. And then what just happened? And then it got to the point where the chain won't spin, and we actually had to have our guys shovel the salt spreader out because it was full of salt. And pretty much an identical situation to what we have right now. Hopefully we don't end up having to shovel it out again. Hopefully we can figure it out with the salt in there. But once I get this tied off, I'm gonna park my truck and go take a look at that. I'm not gonna record any of it, but I will fill you guys in on the result. Ricky's back. Ricky's back. All right, guys, so the storm hasn't really done much at all. We've kind of just been hanging out. We all went to a local restaurant and grabbed some dinner. We also tried to fix the truck that Carmine is in. He had a similar issue with that truck a few storms ago, and we ended up having to shovel the salt spreader out. And we tightened the chain and everything, ran it a bunch of times, and it seemed to be working fine. But he had the same issue happen again today, but he was on his third salt spreader full of salt. So it kind of is a weird situation. It runs fine, and then all of a sudden it'll stop. But we're going out right now. We're gonna scrape our routes. It's just like a little slushiness. Temperatures are right around freezing. It said about 33 in my uncle's truck on our way back here from dinner. So we don't really know what's going to happen with the rest of the storm. AccuWeather shows about 2 hours of snow starting in about a half hour. So we'll see what happens. It's like a rainy mist right now. Carmine did take that truck out where the salt spreader is not currently working. I told him if it comes on, run that salt spreader out. That way we don't have to shovel it out. So who knows what's going to happen. If it doesn't come on, we'll be shoveling that out. Looks like this is my dad pulling in right now. Let me talk to him real quick, and then we'll head on out to our route. All right, guys, this is my first road right here. I've had my plows down for a little bit just because I was on a main that we do anyway, so might as well scrape it while we get over to my route. But there's a little bit of slush on the ground, not anything too crazy. One thing I do wish is that my truck told me the outside temperature. Hopefully this is scraping up pretty nice. It's hard to tell in my rear view right now. It's so dark out. It's definitely scraping up. It's 9:30 right now, and AccuWeather had rain 9, 10, and 11. Or not rain, snow at 9, 10, and 11. But this definitely is not snow. It is 12:06, just after midnight, and my camera overheated at some point and I didn't catch it. So I don't really know how much I recorded in that last clip. But basically what we were doing was going through our routes and scraping everything off. We started salting around like 11-ish, maybe a little bit after 11. I have I have one section left to scrape again and then salt. I scraped my entire route and then it started slowing down, so we decided to start salting, but it was kind of like a freezing rain. It might still be like a freezing rain. You know what? Let's check the weather and see what it's saying real quick. Of course, both weather.com and AccuWeather are saying different things, but this is saying rain, 32 degrees, 32 degrees, 33 degrees at 1 a.m. on weather.com. Let's see what AccuWeather's saying. Hold on. Let's reload this. Weather.com is saying it's 32 degrees right now. AccuWeather is saying it's 30 degrees. So 30 degrees. It says 1 a.m. 32 degrees and freezing rain. 2 a.m. freezing rain and 33 degrees, and then 3 a.m. rain. So hopefully the weather.com one is correct. If that's the case, it's just raining now and it's already 32 degrees. So I don't have a temperature gauge in my truck here, so I don't really know the actual temperature, but it's definitely raining, so we got that right. But hopefully this stuff won't freeze up on us again. It is getting warmer as the morning comes. Look at this guy. You guys can't see him, but there's a guy in a skid steer that does our complex here, and he's a bit of a madman sometimes. He comes backing out of garage door bays and it seems like he's not looking, but he does hit the brakes, so always got to keep my head on a swivel when he's in here. But anyway, let me get back out to my route. We got one section left to scrape off, then we'll go through and salt it. I am going to run my salt spreader out in my route. I just put one bucket on, so we should be able to salt that one section heavy and then resalt my entire route as well. We'll probably be out for like, I don't know, another hour and a half-ish, something like that. But let me get out to my route. We'll start scraping it off and get some salt down. Carmine!
Brandon?
What's up?
My salter stopped working again.
No.
Yeah.
How much?
Something with the hydraulics. Like I feel like it's either getting too much pressure or something, and then it binds up. Like you hear it, like all of a sudden it goes, and then like you switch it on, switch it off, and then it's like there's some either like air gap or something. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just a spread or whatever. But
how much salt do you have on there?
I only salted like 4 streets.
You have quite a bit of salt.
I have quite a bit of salt and quite a bit of streets to still salt.
Yeah. Okay. Try and leave it on and drive it around and see if bouncing it around a little bit will get it to.
Yeah, no, I tried. I'm at the shop now. I mean, I think maybe just gotta cool off again. I don't know. It was very weird.
Yeah, I don't really know what's up with that.
Yeah.
And the yellow truck, the yellow truck's not there right now, right?
The yellow truck is outside. Yeah.
Wait, it is there?
Yeah.
Oh. Is my dad's truck there?
Yeah, the Peterbilt's inside and the truck was outside. I saw somebody moving around that thing in the yellow truck.
Okay, yeah, that was my dad. His salt spreader stopped working.
On the big truck.
On the big truck, so he went out in the yellow truck.
Gotcha.
Alright, so grab the key for the yellow one, load it up, and head on out. You got the tarp on the Chevy, right?
Yeah, it's still tarped up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Leave it covered. If you can't figure out how to run that truck, call me and I'll meet you somewhere. Ay ay ay. So the salt spreader stopped working on that truck that Carmine's in, and then he took it out again. I don't know if I mentioned this before. He took it out again, and he was just gonna scrape with that and then grab the yellow TerraStar, because that guy's not here today, he's on vacation. So he was gonna grab that to go out and salt in, but then his salt spreader started working. And then my dad's Peterbilt, something happened with the salt spreader on that, so he went out in the yellow TerraStar. But I don't know where my dad is now. He could be out running the village in his personal car just to look at things. All right, guys, we just got all of the trucks parked. They're a little bit in the wrong spot. We had a few breakdowns, so some stuff is not moving currently. The red truck down there, I think it went back into limp mode. Paul took that out, and about an hour later, he had to go into 21. Luckily, 21 was fixed. So we're gonna worry about moving those trucks. Rodrigo might do it on Monday. My truck's there, Rodrigo's truck is here. The rest of the trucks are down here. So one of the Chevys, the one down there, it was the one that was a dump truck. We have a Swenson salt spreader in it, and we had an issue with it. I was talking about it earlier in this video, but that spreader is only in there temporarily because the other salt spreader that was supposed to be in there ate the poly tray one day. If you follow my channel, you know what I'm talking about. We actually have all of the parts to make the repairs in the back there. We just haven't had time, but that spreader that we have all of the parts for also does not have liquid on it. So on Monday, Rodrigo and Guillermo are coming in. They're the only two that are working. It's President's Day. We really have the day off, but I asked them if they would work, and they both said they would. That way we can get some of these repairs fixed. But they're gonna take the salt spreader off of 15, which is Rodrigo's old truck. That has liquid on it. They're gonna put that in 16, which is the Chevy dump truck, and take the Swenson one out. They might put it in 15. They might leave it in here. 15 is just a spare right now. So that's really the main thing. We also have the wing sitting up there. It's the second one there, not the one on the ground, but the one standing up there. We have the wing that needs to get mounted back on there, and then the Peterbilt is inside as well. I think I mentioned this earlier. My father ran into an issue with this salt spreader. He was out salting with it. It was running fine, and then all of a sudden it stopped working. So we don't really know what the issue is with it, but we also just went to pull it out because I had my pickup truck parked right here and the plow would not lift up in the air. So that is another thing that the guys are gonna have to look at on Monday. So hopefully when we get here Tuesday, 16 has the other salt spreader in it. The Peterbilt is fixed, the wing is on 16, and all of the trucks are parked where they're supposed to be. But that is gonna wrap it up for this one. If you guys have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Peace.